Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, it's the last day of my weekend, and I got a little bit of a research mission I gotta do. I've mentioned before, probably I think on live streams and other things, that the weather really started changing about a week or week and a half ago. I think last weekend when I was off, it rained a couple days, and at that point, the average temperature per day went from about 80 degrees down to about 40 degrees. So we had some really cold nights late last week, and it became necessary to turn on the furnace for the first time. And when I did, I was kind of alarmed to discover it wouldn't come on. So I don't know what's going on. I was able to kind of save the day by firing up the fireplace, and that kind of helped deal with the issue a little bit temporarily. But today I want to try and figure out why the heat doesn't work. And it turns out the heater and the water cooler are both in this closet behind me, and this is still kind of got a bunch of stuff in front of it from when I moved in, and I haven't really done anything with the stuff that's here. So I want to pull this all away, get into that closet, see if I can figure out what's going on with the heater, and then move everything back into that corner. Now I'm really hoping this is going to be something that's going to be simple, maybe a tripped circuit breaker or just something I look at and say, oh yeah, there's the problem. But first thing we got to do is let's get all this stuff out of the way. Too much junk. Alright, so that was actually a little easier than I thought it would be. I actually got in here, got everything away from the wall. This is the furnace over here. I actually saw these two circuit breakers here, and I thought maybe they were the problem. But I flipped them off, flipped them back on, and didn't really see anything that seemed out of place in here. So I went back into the thermostat and just started messing around with some of the buttons over there, and I managed to get the furnace to come on. So I think maybe the problem here is this is just operator error. I just need to know a little bit more about this system. So probably what I'll end up doing is downloading a manual, because I don't think I got a manual for this thing, and just kind of familiarize myself with how the controller itself works. But hey, got this problem solved, so that's good. I'm going to try and put this stuff back away now. And actually got a couple things I think I'm going to take over to Goodwill. Oops. That's the base of my one of my Halloween props, and I had it kind of precariously lean there, and I guess I bumped it when I backed up a little bit, and it fell over. But anyway, back where I was before I got so rudely interrupted here. I did find a couple things. I think I'm going to make a trip over to Goodwill. I've got an old bird cage that I've had for many, many years. I'd always kind of held out hope that maybe I'd get another bird at some point, but it's just taken up room. And I think if I do actually get to the point where I'm going to get a new bird at some point, we'll just get a new cage. I've also succeeded in kind of cleaning out underneath the workbench here. And so I got a little bit more storage under there. And one of the things I found was this old cage that I bought when I thought I was going to be moving the cats in those. I thought that would be a nice cage to use because it seemed like it would be, easy to fold up when I wasn't using it. But it turned out it isn't really designed to be a cage to like transport cats around. And since I've never actually used it, and since I replaced it with an actual cat carrier almost directly after I got this thing, it's never been used, and I don't anticipate needing a cage to hold the cats, because if I need to put them in something, they'll go in the cat carriers. So I think I'm going to bring this down to Goodwill as well, and let's just do what we can to clean out some of this inventory. So now that I'm in here, I've kind of put my hand up to the furnace grill here, to the air vent here, and there's definitely warm air coming out of there. So yeah, whatever the problem was, it looks like it was just operator error. It happens. So anyway, I'm going to read the directions on this thing and get a better idea for it. Apparently what happened is there's a heating mode and air conditioning mode, and apparently I had an air conditioning mode. So when I try and raise the thermostat, you would say, okay, well, we're in cooling mode here, and since the current temperature is cooler than what the set is, we don't need to do anything. So I'd try and go to, up to 82 or something like that when it was 68 in here, and you say, yeah, well, it's still below 82, so, no air conditioning. But now that I got the heater on here, that seems to be working good. So I guess that's just what I got to do. I got to switch it from air conditioning mode to heating mode, cooling mode to air heating mode. So I don't know, whatever. Let's put everything back together in the garage, and maybe we'll put this guy away too. All right, we're a little better organized here. Things aren't sticking out quite so much, and that's gonna be good on a couple of fronts, because now I can get at the stuff that I need more regularly, and the stuff that I don't need as much is kind of in the back. Additionally, I can get a little bit more of the car in here. See, I've got this little golf ball here that kind of hits the back window when I hit when I get in as far as I need to clear the front. But it's usually a little tight back here. But now that I've kind of pushed this all back a little bit, I think it's going to be a little bit more room in here, and probably, like I said, a little bit more organized. I have the stuff that I kind of need in the front, and I can get at it easily, and that's a good thing. I've also taken the bird cage apart and give it in a good cleaning, because, I mean, you know, Goodwill sometimes is a little squeamish about what they take, and if you give them a bird cage covered with bird poop, they're probably not going to want it. So it looks pretty good now. I think it's ready to go. I've also gotten this other cage out of here, and this thing's ready to go. All it needs is maybe good hosing off, and I'll let them do that. This should be a good deal for somebody, because it's never even actually been used. So I'm going to make a run over to Goodwill, and then we'll go from there. So when I moved away from California, there were a bunch of things that I took with me that I probably could have gotten rid of at the time. But at the time, I wasn't really sure what I was going to need when I got here, or how much space I'd have for it. Now that I am here, now that I know, kind of what I need and what kind of space I have, it makes sense that I'd get rid of a few things, because it's doing a lot of good to help consolidate all the stuff here. And so that's ultimately, you kind of have a good feeling when you get to the point where it's like, okay, the stuff you got's taking up less and less room, and you're getting a little bit more organized and all that. So it was good to do that, and now we'll just keep chugging away at it until we got this place all done, and we're almost there now. I also took the opportunity and just kind of ran the lawnmower through the front yard a little bit, not because the grass was really that tall, but because we've had some storms in the past week or two that have knocked a lot of stuff out of the trees. I am becoming aware that some of the trees are dropping their leaves, and it was creating kind of a mess out there. So the beauty of running a lawnmower over it is it kind of mulches all that stuff up and turns it into a finer material, which then kind of becomes fertilizer for the next generation, and it kind of makes the lawn look a little nicer too, because now we don't have all that yard debris on there, all those leaves and all those branches and all that stuff that come out of the trees. So that was a good thing. It's been a productive day. We got a lot done. I am definitely glad that we got that furnace figured out, and doubly glad that it wasn't an issue that I had to call a HVAC guy over here to deal with. I always love it when there's a problem and I can figure it out on my own, and operator error doesn't really cost a lot of money. You just got to spend the time. Sorry, haven't killed all the mosquitoes yet apparently. Operator error doesn't cost a lot of money. You just got to take the opportunity to learn. So anyway, I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.